Welcome to everyone that is online. We're doing it without cameras on your end and cameras on our end this time. So thank you for coming on board. Thank you for taking the time this evening to join us and discuss the new female hockey model and how it affects minor hockey associations and participants for the 2019-2020 season. When creating the model, we spoke with 23 different MHAs and district associations, as well as Hockey Canada, Hockey Alberta, and Hockey Nova Scotia. While the female zone structure and central registry is the main area of focus tonight, the model also addresses recruitment and event hosting, which we'll briefly touch on as well. So I'd like to introduce who we have on the webinar. There's myself, Cindy Secord, Female Hockey Program Coordinator, Barry Petrochenko, BC Hockey Chief Executive Officer, Brianna Davey, BC Hockey Program Manager, and Ali Moore, BC Hockey Program Generalist. I'll turn it over to Barry now for a few remarks.
Well, thank you, Cindy, and thanks to everyone who's joining us this evening. This is the one of the ways that we plan to communicate around female hockey and our efforts that will be undertaken in the next little while to promote the game and to promote female hockey. I do want to acknowledge the work of Ali, Brianna, and Cindy here for getting us this far, and just tell you how excited we are on behalf of the board of directors to be moving in this direction. Give these ladies the credit they're due, but also give them some time to explain things to you and help you through things. I assure you, nothing is a mandate or anything that is intended to do anything but develop the female game. We look forward to a spring of sharing information and a seminar through our annual Congress that I think will benefit everyone. We want to learn from the people who are doing it well, and we want to help people in what is a very challenging role of growing the female game. It's not easy, and that's why we're working so hard at it. But we appreciate the time you've taken here on what here in Victoria is a wonderful Monday evening, and so we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight to take in this information. And again, kudos to Cindy, Brianna, and Ali. Thanks, ladies, for the great job you've been doing so far.
Thanks, Barry. In this webinar format, questions need to be typed into the chat box. We'll answer these questions at the end of the presentation, and if there's any that we can't answer tonight or need more information on, we'll get information to you either by email, phone call, or some other means. So over to you. Is that you, Brianna, now?
It'll be Ali. She'll kick us off here.
Hey, Ali, take it.
Perfect. Thanks, Cindy. So I'll start off with explaining the role of our female hockey coordinator and zone leads. So we have a bit of a shift to our organizational structure for this upcoming season. For the past few seasons, we've operated with the female development coordinator, and this season we introduced Cindy's role of female hockey coordinator. So based on the feedback we heard when we were interviewing MHAs for the model, we wanted to implement a model similar to what they're currently doing in Nova Scotia. So in areas where there aren't currently female hockey associations, so everywhere except the Lower Mainland and now Southern Vancouver Island, zones are going to be formed to create female teams wherever possible. Players wishing to participate in female hockey will register through a central registry, and this is going to be discussed in a little bit. So as such, we've updated the role of the female hockey coordinator and created zone lead positions for 5 zones. And the 5 zones are Lower Mainland, Kootenays, Vancouver Island, the North, and the Okanagan. So the female hockey coordinator, they're going to be overseeing the implementation of female programming in all zones across the province, while those zone leads will oversee the day-to-day female hockey in their zones. So this programming includes recruitment initiatives like the first shift, SO Fun Days, retention initiatives like jamborees, in addition to registration through the central registry. And the whole purpose of these zones is to allow them to have autonomy over female hockey in their area. It allows us to move away from those traditional minor hockey boundaries and let more females play together. So as far as the relationship with the zone leads to minor hockey associations, so zone leads will be working to support these female directors in MHAs with the coordination of female programming and the creation of female teams. So really they're meant to be an additional resource to female coordinators in those associations. And it's an extra person that can help with planning of events and programming and that sort of thing. So just a note, we've extended the deadline for applications for these coordinator and lead positions until 9 a.m. this Wednesday. So if anybody's interested, it's on the career and volunteer opportunities page of our website. And I think there's plenty of people on this call who have the interest in female hockey and would serve these roles quite well. And finally, as far as their relationship to district associations, so district associations are going to continue to schedule league play. The zone leads will assist with forming these teams. And again, they're going to be an added resource to these districts. All right, and now I'll turn it over to Brianna to discuss the registration process.
Awesome, thanks, Allie. So we're really looking at working with everybody together on this. So the model that we've created follows what Hockey Nova Scotia has implemented over the last 2 years. It's been pretty amazing what they've been able to do with female hockey out there. So all Pee-wee, Bantam, and Midget females outside the Lower Mainland and Southern Vancouver Island, where female MHAs already exist, would be registered under one of the 4 zones. So Vancouver Island, Okanagan, the Kootenays, and the North. The Central Registry will not apply to females in the Lower Mainland zone, as well as the Southern Vancouver Island. The Southern Vancouver Island is the new Capital Region Female Minor Hockey Association draw zone. Due to the existing presence of female hockey associations in those areas, that's why this Central Registry will not apply to those people. The Central Registry, it will help improve the administration of the female game in BC. So any players who plan on playing female hockey in all zones, like we said, rather than the Lower Mainland and Southern Vancouver Island, will register with their home MHA as well as the Central Registry for Female Hockey. So again, you're registering with your home Minor Hockey Association, as well if you're a female player registering with the Female Registry. This is so that we can start keeping tabs on females playing in those specific zones. This registration will all go through the HCR. Registration links and deadlines will be distributed in the spring. We know this is a little late for some MHAs, but this is why you're registering with your home MHA. So we'll continue to work on that process. When players have signed up with their respective female hockey zone, they will then be placed on teams by the zone leads, keeping in mind driving times and distances as well as existing teams. So we're really just trying to work with what's already going on in a lot of zones, but also help and add that resource to help find additional female players to play in your area. Okay, so the roles of the host MHAs. So female teams would be assigned to a host MHA. These host MHAs would assign ice to the teams. The players' registration fees would be paid to these host MHAs to cover the cost of ice. Eventually, female hockey associations would form within these zones, so this would take care of all of this. This has occurred in Nova Scotia. In 3 seasons, they have gone from 0 female hockey associations to 3, 2 in Halifax and 1 in more rural areas. When a team has been formed, it will be assigned back to an MHA in the female hockey zone, and players will pay their respective fees to their host MHA. Minor hockey associations that have ice contracts and have agreed to host female hockey teams, once contacted by the zone leads, will be the hosts. So like we said, working with existing teams, working with our leads, working with our local MHA reps will really be the key point here in helping to keep everything as simple as possible. We're not changing a whole lot of things. We're just adding additional resources to find other girls to play hockey and break down those barriers. So we're basically just trying to let as many females play hockey as possible and not have the restrictions in place.
All right, thanks, Bree. And then just to touch on the rest of the female hockey model, so obviously the central registry was a large part. We also wanted to focus on recruitment. So a big part of the role of this new zone lead position is going to be focused on recruitment initiatives in their zone. So we'll be working with Hockey Canada on hosting initiatives such as the first shift, SO Fun Days, and that sort of thing. We really just want to push registration in all of these areas, and having that dedicated zone lead to assist these MHA female directors, we really want to get that going. We're also focused on event hosting. I'm sure many of you were in Kamloops when we had the 2016 Women's Worlds and also all of our female championships in one place. So we're exploring possibilities of hosting more events. We've got some interest in hosting the SO Cup and things like that. And we're also exploring the possibility of doing centralized female championships again.
Alrighty, so I know we don't have any questions up in the chat right now, but we're gonna hold on this slide. If you guys have any questions, pop them in the chat right now and we'll try and address what we can. To respect everyone's time, we'll keep this kind of going as possible. So if you guys do have questions, please ask them now on the chat. If not, Ali will show you who we can contact, and we can set up phone calls later this week or send emails. We want to help you guys. That's the whole point of this, is we want to make sure that we have an open forum with you, so that we can really discuss what needs to happen, what are your concerns, what are your comments, what is working, what's not working. Just like our initial phone calls when we started this process, it was what's working, what's not working, how can we help? And it's truly that. That's what we're really wanting to do out of this. So I'll leave the chat open here for a couple minutes. If anybody has any questions, please pop them in there. Well, if no one has any questions, I think we probably answered a majority of your questions, but I'll pass it off to Ali here to close us out for the evening.
All right. Well, thanks again to everybody for your time. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation. Again, if you have any questions on anything at all with relation to the coordinator and zone positions, the central registry, or just the female model in general, we've got our contact information up here. So we're directing everything to femalehockeyinfo@bchockey.net. And of course, you can also reach Brianna and I via the phone number there, 250-652-2978. We're generally in the office Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. So any phone calls or emails we get during that time, we try to respond as quickly as we can. So thanks again. Have a great night, and good luck to those of you who are participating in championships this week.
Thanks, girls. You know, I do believe that there have been questions sent in that we haven't been able to see. So if that's the case, we'll make sure that they get answered, and we'll try and share that information with the group as well.